Hi, Aries. This is your astrology reading for the month of December for all Aries signs. Now, I always try to make sure that I come out and say if you're new to the channel and you're watching this under, when I say Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, if you're watching it under Aries but with Venus, this is not meant for love. When I see Venus as, sensitivity, whether it's emotional, mental, spiritual, or physical. And where you're taking that in a positive or negative way for whatever it may be. So that's the way I describe it as we come into it. Now, also, if you're like an Aries moon sign, this is more of your subconscious becoming conscious, the depths of who and what you are. And I say that because technically the way Spirit explains it to me is there's 5 charts at any given time that are going on for any one person. And most astrologers don't speak to you of that. But technically, according to the way Spirit explains it to me, there's 5 charts at one time. And that would be your ascending chart. That would be your sun chart. That would be your moon chart. And then there is the alpha of all, which is the universal chart. And then there is the transiting chart that is always taking place. And this is why I explain it this way, because I want you guys to realize, there's several different readings you may want to be checking out, because it may give you a better spectrum of what's going on, whether it's Sun, Moon, Rising, and help you understand what that is really covering. But with that being said, this is for Aries just in general. And then you take it to wherever Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus that is for you. Spirit is saying there is definitely karmic lessons going on here. There is some emotional security being tapped into. There is some grief, sorrow, shame, and blame that you're overcoming. Your very creative expression and learning to understand that at a better understanding of what that means for you. For some of you, that creative expression is dealing with hobbies. And some of you, it's definitely dealing with dating or sex in general, as Spirit is putting it to me. And if you're really enjoying it, maybe it has to do with the person that you're with. Maybe it's being realistic with yourself about the truths of your enjoyment. Anything else? There is a lot of heart and throat chakra energy going on, and learning how to speak and express your personal interests, your personal truths. There's definitely a lot of information going on with communication and financial success, or social foundations that create that financial success for you. And they say in your delivery system. And your ability to use it correctly. I'm sorry I'm laughing. It's the way that they express it to me, so I just can't help but to laugh. They say it has a lot to do with coming into your self-realization of what the proper rules, walls, and boundaries need to be for you to illuminate and get past some of your grief, sorrow, shame, and blame for your own self-realization. But a lot of this is going to be outer world, how you communicate and find yourself in that self-realization that will support or is going against you, so you acknowledge it, and the social foundations and financial success. They're leading me back to ethics and morals. and listen to your gut, your heart and gut intuition, and take action accordingly. Along with some of this just has to do with being stubborn and inflexible and wanting things your way and wanting to do things your way, but your way may not be the right way, or at least not anymore. And what I mean by that is we're learning, we've held on to old habits for so long. It's been like programmed in our head to think that this is the only way, but we're starting to realize, no, it's not. It's just that's that lower vibrational frequency that's had us tricked into thinking that. And if we believe in ourselves and our true roots of who and what we are, then we can change that. But we have to be flexible enough, to loosen up the reins and give it a chance. Listen to your higher self and its wisdom is what they're giving me. And trust in, for somebody specifically at least, trust in your humanitarian interests and duties. For someone specifically out there, you need to trust in that and what you're supposed to be doing in that area, and know your higher self has wisdom for what they're having you do. Something about that also has to do with counseling for someone. Trusting in that, the ambitions of what you're going for. Okay. You're also having situations that are going to be dealing with your universal 8th house, which is the relationship zone, but the rules of the relationship. And what are the joint finances, joint resources, joint efforts? And are they fair and just? Anyway, let's get into the astrology itself. Now, I want to back up for just a minute, because I always try to remind everybody, as we ended November, you ended November with Venus moving into Capricorn. Bases are loaded in Capricorn right now. And that's going to definitely make a significance throughout the month of December. Now, you also ended November with a new moon in Sagittarius, but it came off of a void, of course, from Scorpio to Sagittarius. And we had a new moon in Scorpio the month before. So this has to do with, birth, death, rebirth, the ending of an era, the recycling, the death that allows for the new rebirth or reincarnation to come forward with a higher understanding in whatever house it is for you that those two houses are. We'll check that out in a minute. And then you also have Neptune, which is in retrograde up until the 27th when it went direct. But even though it went direct on top of Lilith, and that does not necessarily mean it's, even though it's direct, it's in shadow until mid-January. And until mid-January, and it can be a little bit confused because Neptune's probably at its weakest. For somebody, there's definitely some issues going on with the bottom 3 chakras and the solar plexus, especially, and some self-deception within that, because they're making me very nauseous right now. There's some self-deception going on for someone that I'm supposed to be sharing this with. And it's definitely the sacral chakra and the solar plexus. And they're out of alignment, and it is causing problems with self-deception and responsibility of the authority of you. Believing in yourself, believing in your confidence. I always call the sacral chakra the inner belly dancer and the warrior. The inner belly dancer is when you feel good about yourself, you're confident, you're able to look in the mirror like, yeah, you know, and I feel good about myself versus those days when you look in the mirror, you're like, what the fuck happened there, you know? So there are definitely situations for somebody, though, this self-deception is coming in ways of the outer world's responsibilities, where you're putting your responsibilities in your professional interests, and it's actually a self-deception to yourself, lowering your self-esteem, lowering your value, lowering your worth, lowering your confidence, and it's taking away your power because accidentally you're giving it away. This is what I'm being given. Don't shoot the messenger, man. I just give you what I'm being given. This definitely has to do with self-judgment and communication you have with yourself. Screw them. This has to do with communication you have with yourself, because this is overcoming it. Overcoming some of your own inner evil that's messing with you in some way. Spirit says it's time to give it a funeral. All right. Let me get back into the astrology and give you what I'm being given. Now, like I said, I was just giving you what was going on as we ended in November. December 2nd, Jupiter moves into Capricorn. On the 9th, Mercury moves into Sagittarius. You have a full moon on the 12th in Cancer, but Spirit keeps telling me there's something to do with Gemini and Taurus energy coming in with that Cancer energy on that full moon. Excuse me. Like I said, Spirit's making me nauseous with whatever it is that they're trying to get me to say, but when we get to that house, they'll probably figure out how to get it out. It has everything to do with how you view yourself, and I think that somebody is viewing themselves very low. Okay, you have Venus in Aquarius on the 20th. So Venus is in Capricorn with Jupiter, with Ceres, with Saturn and Pluto, all the way up until the 20th when Venus moves out. And then on the 21st, the sun moves in. Then you have the new moon on the 26th of December with a solar eclipse. And then Mercury is moving into Capricorn on the 28th. Now let's take a look at what's going on. Like I said, somebody's definitely having issues with how they feel about their enjoyment of their relationships, dating, sex, the very act of sex too. And I'm not getting it in a positive way for whoever this is. This is something that you need to realize is not positive for you, or at least you need to admit it to yourself or make changes in the relationship or something. And this is more than reputation. This has to do with coming into your power and reclaiming your power for whoever this is about. And judgment. No matter what you did in the past, whoever you are, that's the past. Yesterday is the past. Everything has to do with who you want to be and who you're creating yourself to be in the future from this moment forward. So it doesn't matter how people view you, see you, or judge you. It's about changing so that you can change and create yourself to be what and how you want to create yourself, and have that confidence in your self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, and don't worry about the past. We all have skeletons in our closet, regardless of what anybody says. Sorry. Like I said, I feel like I was being given a special message for someone at that point. Now, Aries. Aries, your very first house is your self-awareness. It's your personal appearance. It's your physical body. It is your personality, your view of life, how you're illuminated, how you shine to yourself as well as to others. It does have ego, but it is your identification. And they keep bringing me right back to the sacral chakra and the solar plexus. This is about you having self-awareness about how you feel about yourself. You have Chiron here. at one end of Aries, and at the other end of Aries, you have Medusa, which is Eris. Eris, I call her Medusa because she's trouble, toil, strife, and injustice. So you have one part of you that is just sinking your teeth into the trouble, toil, strife, and injustice. And you're very much gripping a hold of it. But the other side of you is wanting to heal. And if you keep holding on to that trouble, toil, strife, that injustice, and your very awareness of yourself, how you view yourself, then you're not being able to heal. This is rising above what others may have told you. Because this is them talking. This is rising above what others may have told you, what others have given you the impression that you are or your value is. And you are more than that, but only you can make yourself believe that. By believing in the action that you take within your self-awareness, your appearance, your view, your identification, and what you believe about yourself, and taking action in your own inner sacral chakra, your own inner warrior, your own inner belly dancer, and bringing that forward and bringing that judgment onto you, not what others judge you as. Okay, well, and that pretty much does explain Chiron and Aries. Aries is very much me first energy, but it's very much an impulsive, let me start. But you also get bored with something very easily, and you run out of fire and steam, which means, you know, you could very much be starting on this self-illumination, self-powering image. And then if it's not coming through as easily, you kind of give up and go back to the old way. This is about not doing that. I'm sorry, like I said, they're making me nauseous. This is about standing in that power, finding security in who and what you are in your own power, overcoming your own inner demon of trouble, toil, strife, and injustice, and believing in yourself. Now, as you come into the second house, you have Taurus here. This is where independence is. This is Uranus in Taurus, going towards Eris, which is Medusa. This is independence, individuality, uniqueness, freedom, self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, searching for the inner heaven within you. But she is still going towards Eris, trouble, toil, strife. So it's pointing out to you, in this case, where you've let yourself down. And the soul fire is asking you to reclaim it. Reclaim your inner heaven, first off by believing in yourself, second off by liberating yourself, self-value, self-esteem, self-worth, self-value is what they keep bringing me back to. But it is also how you spend your money, is your hidden talents of that very self-awareness and the liberation of who and what you are. But you can't be holding on to that trouble, toil, and strife, because like I said, Aries burns out very easily. You guys have the great ideas and you're like, let me go for it. And then it didn't quite take off so fast, so let me find something new to go for. This is saying you need to stick with it. You need to stick with it and allow that Taurus energy of stubborn reliability. And Taurus is the bull. It's bullheaded. You need to be bullheaded in this energy for right now, is what I'm being given. You need to be bullheaded, like locking the horns. I'm about me for once, is what I'm getting. Now, when you get into your third house, there's nothing here other than Sagittarius is where we're all walking through right now. And for you, that is your ninth house. So, just hear me through. Mercury rules the third house. For you, that third house is Gemini. Gemini is very fickle and easy to change. I call it Jekyll and Hyde, because you never really know which side of the communication for you're going to be getting when you're dealing with an Aries sign. But Mercury now is in Sagittarius, which I consider the higher self. So the higher self is trying to communicate with you how to communicate with you and what it is that you need to hear just to punch you in the gut enough to make you jump the fence and go the right direction. And then as you learn to communicate with yourself properly, and heal those judgments of what you've put on yourself, then it speaks to you about how you're going to speak outwardly to the world around you. Not even so that they believe you, but so that you believe you when you speak it outwardly. And then therefore they have no choice but to listen and accept what you say. But this is also about your delivery system. This is your messages. This is your communication with those small bits of information that are very important. Your intellect and the details that are coming. And something's going on with the gossip. Like I said, something's going on with the gossip, the reputation, the hidden self with the larger groups. I don't know. That's just what I'm being given. So this is overcoming that bullshit. Really, this is overcoming that bullshit and reclaiming your power, taking it back. As you come into the 4th house, you have the North Node here. There's nothing else with it for the month. But the North Node is telling you everything you need to learn in order to move forward in positive and healthy ways. The North Node is in the 4th house of Cancer, speaking directly to you about what you need to learn about nourishing your inner emotional security by getting to the true roots of who and what you are. The true self. Excuse me. And the communication with the heart chakra and the throat chakra. Again. And taking action, passion, action, aggression, fire, bringing the fire back to your inner emotional security. Trusting in it, trusting in the reincarnation of you. And whatever happened to the child, because the 4th house is the home, which is your actual home, and bringing inner emotional security to the home. But it also speaks to the child you were and what created you to be who you are today. And what are the roots and the true self and the upbringing of that, whether it was positive or negative, whether it was neglected or nurtured. This is about finding your inner fire and breaking the chain. This is about finding your inner fire, breaking the chain, and placing the karmic lessons on there so inner emotional security is made. The reincarnation is coming forward and the personal foundation is strengthened and flowing. This is about strengthening that personal awareness, self-awareness, self-value, self-worth, self-esteem. And of course, it's not getting along with your 10th house. That honor and that reputation. So maybe, you coming into your power is definitely changing your reputation. Maybe the fact of if you're not coming into your power is going against your reputation. But this is saying I'm not taking shit anymore. This is who I am. This is where I'm going to stand. And this is who I'm creating myself to be. And you all, hell or high water, better just get used to it. Basically, I mean, like I said, a lot of this isn't even me. This is coming through them. This is that honor, that reputation, the prestige, professional career, financial success. This could be very positive for you because it's going in Capricorn where the new moon is. But this is about setting a new foundation outwardly to let them know this is who I am. And with that, this is where I am going. And that's the end of the story. And either you get on board or you get out of town, more or less, is what I'm feeling I'm getting from this. Becoming the true authority of your own life and then putting your authority into the community. Changing that honor, that reputation, which will ultimately change the social foundation and the financial success that you're bringing in. Are we good with that? I'm sorry, because they're just really just taking over here. As you come into Leo and into Virgo, your 5th and your 6th house, they don't have anything going on here. But this is got more than enough already being said about that 5th and 6th house. If you're not spending time enjoying your life, doing the things that you want to do, with your own creative expression. Excuse me. If you're not spending the time allowing you to enjoy life and to be able to do the things you want to do to enjoy life, that tweaks your interests, whether it's your personal interests, whether it's, dancing, whether it's music, whether it's teaching, drama, hobbies, whatever it is that's your creative expression, it's your creative outlet. If you're not having time for that creative outlet, something needs to change because you need to have time for it. There's nothing here to influence it, but with all this information coming into your inner emotional security versus the community at hand going against the inner emotional security, and what rules, walls, and boundaries need to be shifted so that you can get right with that. It's speaking to you automatically, too, of that 6th house of your daily routines, from your health, your diet, to your working environment, your physical health, your physical sicknesses, your physical well-being, your hygiene, your ability to work, your mundane tasks. And I cannot say enough that your everyday mundane tasks, your everyday mundane routines have people, places, and things in them. And within those people, places, and things are energies that you are consuming. And are these energies that you are consuming supporting that inner emotional security, supporting that self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, supporting you becoming liberated, supporting your self-awareness and confidence? Because if they're not, then those are groups, memberships, friends, communities that need to go, because they're going to go against your ambitions, your goals, your dreams. And you won't be able to match them anyway because you're giving that energy to someone else. I'm sorry, it's like I said, they're just bringing it in so fast. And that energy is actually what you're going to be seeing going against you come that new moon on the 26th. Come that new moon on the 26th with the solar eclipse. So that outer community is telling you exactly who needs to go, who needs to no longer be here because they are not supporting my self-realization. They are not supporting my dreams, my goals, my ambitions. They are not supporting me taking action and where I want to go. And you're going to be noticing that it's going to be very insensitive in some areas, or the sensitivity is going to be off the chart. It's going to definitely be showing you the ones that need to be there and the ones that need to be gone. It's going to be showing you the ones that nurture you and the ones that neglect you. It's going to be showing you where the rules, walls, and boundaries have not been set right and it needs to get set right. Who needs to be ex-nayed, you're gone, and I need new people to come in. Abundance, Jupiter is coming in. Your larger groups, friends, memberships are definitely going to be showing you exactly who's there and who needs to not be there. It's going to be illuminated, definitely, by the time you come to that solar eclipse on the 26th. Your 4th house also is your inner emotional security, and that is where you have the full moon on the 12th. And I was told Gemini and Taurus, change for your own independence, individuality, uniqueness, freedom, self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, your own liberation, in your own inner emotional security, making those changes, deciding where, you need to have that fickle attitude about going, okay, yes, no, It's kind of Virgo-ish. Setting it out is what I'm getting. And then nurturing what needs to be nurtured. So both pieces this month are going to be being illuminated. And if you didn't get the hint by the 26th, you'll get the smackdown with that solar eclipse. It will illuminate you right then. This is very positive, but this is helping you move forward. And this is also telling you what's going to keep you from moving forward. Plain and simple. Libra is your 7th house. That is the relationship zone. That is telling you the collective consciousness, Ura, and make, where you are on the lotus flower. Can you see through these relationships, or are you in the swamp? Where's the sacrifice and commitment being given? And what is the true collective consciousness of these relationships? as it moves into Scorpio, which is your 8th house, is saying, where do you need to take action on setting the proper rules to these relationships? Joint efforts, joint resources, joint finances, and I don't know why I'm wanting to say reverence. But with that being said, I'm at 30 minutes, so I'm going to come back for the 8th house again through to the 12th house. I love you guys. Bye.